this video today, as you've probably seen by the title, is finally my review of my other car, my 1 year review of my Ford Mustang GT. Now, technically, it's been a little bit longer than a year, but we won't dwell on that too much because of all that's been going on in the world. Yeah, technically I've had this car for about a year and 4 months, but due to a couple of issues I've had with the car and life, I've sort of had to push this one back a little bit. Has it been a good year with this car? Have I regretted getting this 5 litre monster that drinks fuel and is a bit sketchy when you put your foot down? In one word, no, I've not regretted it one bit. Literally every single second I've had this car, I have enjoyed. It's put a smile on my face every time that I've driven it, apart from that one time where I was going down really bad single track country lanes and I was very, very scared. But apart from that, it has been nothing but fun. Nothing but fun. When I got one of these, it was like a complete opposite side of the spectrum to before. But this car never fails to make me smile. People said, like, I've got the automatic version, and people slated me at the start. People absolutely slated me, saying, oh, why have you spent that much money on the car or whatever and you've got an automatic? And to be fair, my answer to that is sod off, it's my money, I'll do what I like. I wanted an automatic car. My Skoda's a manual. I wanted an automatic car no matter what, but I wanted something a bit fancy, a bit flashy. And I wasn't looking for a Mustang, to be honest, at first. I was looking at V90 estates, I was looking at M3s, M2s, potentially like a Golf R, something like that. Pardon me. I thought a V90 estate is a very nice car, but why would I want a sort of more luxury estate car when I've got an estate car? And the V90, I would have got it as a diesel. I don't know which diesel one of variant I would have gone for, but it would have been a D something. So I thought, as much as I want one, it's pointless. At the minute it's pointless. So I thought it's going to have to be a nice car or a faster car, something for like a weekend. So I thought, I'll have a look for like M2s or an Audi RS3 or an S3 or something like that. But I just thought that's a lot of money for a car that I'm not going to. I don't like, even though they are fast, and don't get me wrong, they're fast. One of my friends has got an S3 and I think he's remapped it in it, but it's fast. And I thought, but it's going to be expensive, and I thought no. So anyway, I was just looking at Auto Trader, as I do pretty much every day. I'm addicted to Auto Trader. I just think it's such a fun app to just like act out your lottery winning scenarios. So I was looking at Auto Trader and I was just browsing for everything that was in my price range, and I just thought, oh, a Mustang. And Mustangs kept coming up more and more, and I thought, oh, Mustang, that'd be fun. But I thought nothing of it, because I thought, nah, it's just stupid. But then I looked into it more and it became less and less stupid, and it was like, actually, for the money, like, I'm not particularly bothered how fast it goes. It doesn't have to be like a sub 4 second car to 60. It's just, I just want something that is nice It's like to show off, if I'm honest, like not show off in a bad way, but just something that makes me feel happy. Like I don't particularly care what people think of me, but in a weird way I sort of wanted to get noticed. That's just the big headedness in me a little bit. But I thought, oh, if I get like a BMW or an Audi, it just looks like every other BMW and Audi. So I thought, why don't I do what I want and I just get something for me? And I would have spent, you don't see as many Mustangs, so it's like, wow, it's a no-brainer, I really want that. So I was looking at Mustangs, I feel like I want a Mustang, right? And I was looking at one, and I wanted one that was roughly a year old, and I didn't want that many miles because I was just dreading it to have, say, 20,000 miles, and then it's like, oh, but the engine's shagged because whoever's owned it's been doing quarter mile fucking drag racing starts on it and stuff like that, or like launching it from lights. And I thought, God, I'd be knackered if I get something with that. So I thought, set my limit to say 10,000 miles. And before you could say, no, I'm not one of these people that has to have like a brand new car with no miles. It's just, I know cars do last, and just because it's got 30,000 miles, it's not going to break. But for something that I don't own as such, because I've got this on PCP, I thought I just want something that's going to last the duration and not have many problems. So I saw this black Mustang, all black Mustang, and it was in Birmingham, which is about 40 miles from me, roughly, something like that. I thought, sod it, I'll go and have a look. It was on one of my days off, everyone else was at work, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to go have a look at it. Sod it, it's something to do. It's something to do. Gets me out of the house for a couple of hours, and I'm going to come back and I'm going to know if I actually like it. So anyway, I went to a place called Exclusive Cars in Birmingham. Don't ask me whereabouts it was because I have no idea where it is. I'll put a link to their Instagram or a link to their website, whichever one I can find. I'll put a link to that in the description below. They've got some interesting cars, to be honest. They mainly specialise in like Range Rovers. They do have the odd more exotic car, but they have like a few Bentleys. I remember a while ago they had like a Bentayga. But we've got some nice cars. And anyway, so I went down, had a look at this one Mustang that was all black, and I think must have been within the first minute that I spent with that car, I just fell in love with it. I absolutely fell in love with it. All I had to do was turn it on, turn the engine on, and I'd sold. I was like, yeah, I want this. I want this in my life. I had no intention of getting it, but I came away with it. I spent a few hours there. The guys are really helpful, just fell in love with it, and I was like, I'm having this car. This car is coming home with me, maybe not today, but in the next couple of days. And yeah, that's that. This is the car that I came home with. I got this car on a PCP deal for $533 a month, £1,000 deposit, and I've absolutely loved it ever since. I mean, don't get me wrong, like, I don't enjoy paying that much a month, but it is what it is, I suppose. And yeah, it is what it is. So I've got this car and I love it. And the best thing about it is you can be going no matter what speed you go in, should I say, no matter what speed you go in, because I love listening to my music, and if you have the right song on, if you have the right song on the right day, on the right road, it's just, you're in your element. windows are down, the music's cranked up. We're just chilling along. You just think you're driving on Route 66, and you just feel like an absolute baller, and it's amazing. So it's amazing. That is just over 70 miles an hour. A little bit more than that, I think. But it just ticks all the right boxes, and I love it. Absolutely love it. Now, as much as I've loved it, and as much as it's made me smile, as much as it's made me happy, there have been the odd moments where it's not been all sunshine and rainbows, which is why it's taken me a little bit longer to get this video out than I'd like to have done. I say that I'm making it out to be as though the car was cut in half, but basically there's been a few niggling issues that I've had, and I've been slightly messed around by a Ford dealership, which I wasn't too happy about. But basically, from the first issue was the wiper jets for the windscreen. The hose, a clip had broken, I think a clip had broken on one of the jets from the hose to hold it in. And every time I squirted the jets, the hose came out. So I thought, oh, I'll put it back in myself. So I took the heat shield off the bonnet. It's a little bit fiddly because you've got it's a little bit fiddly anyway. But I put it in, not an issue. Next time I came to use it, it's come out, pop back out again. So it's clear something had broken. I'm assuming it was like a plastic clip or something to hold the actual hose into the jet. That's all that had broken. But I was like, well, I need that fixing. So I thought I'll just take it for I can't be bothered doing it myself. And they charged me £70 odd for the whole shebang, like a brand new setup. You can't just buy a clip or something. I've got to get the whole thing again, apparently. So they charged me £70 odd for that. Then they said tracking's out. So I was like, yeah, fair enough. My wheel is pointing to one side a little bit. That was my own fault. Should have got it done sooner. The tracking's out, therefore your front tyres are a little bit bald on the inside. So I was like, fair enough. And they were charging me £400 roughly to do 2 new tyres and the tracking. The tracking was £80. So at the time I thought, I wasn't really using the car, to be honest. So at the time I was like, well, I don't really want brilliant tyres on it at the minute because I'm just not using it. I'll just put cheaper ones on at the minute. I'm barely using it because I'm barely going out, and if I do, it's to work, and therefore I use my Skoda. So I just want cheaper ones at the minute. So, oh no sir, we can't do that because your tyres will just go back to the way they were. They'll go bald. I was like, yeah, I know that, but just put me new tyres on and I'll take it somewhere else to get the tracking done, because you can take it to get your tracking done anywhere. No sir, we can't do that. So God, right, so anyway, I took it away that day, got 2 new tyres put on for, I think it was £70 odd each. They were literally the cheapest ones I could find. A brand I've never heard of. Don't judge me on that. I was literally driving it a couple of 100 miles a month, if that. So I was like, well, what's the point in putting brand new Pirellis on or brand new Michelins or something like that? So I thought, what's the point? Why am I spending more money? And I know I'll need to change them again at some point anyway, but for the amount I'm driving, I just don't need it. So anyway, Ford said, oh yeah, I'll get you booked in again for your tracking. So I was like, right. So anyway, they booked me in to get my tracking done. It took me half an hour to get to the dealership. Sat around for about 40 minutes just for them to tell me, oh sorry sir, there is a MOT on the tracking bay. There's an MOT going on. Will be a few hours, so I'm assuming you don't want to wait around for that. We can book you in another time. So I thought, you what? You've booked me in for today, knowing full well what the issue is because I came to you last week. For then, after 40 minutes of me sat there waiting, you tell me it's going to be a few hours because you've got something else on the bay. Well, what? So I was fuming, so I went home and they said we can book you in for another day. So I thought, right, okay. So half an hour again I went there. About 40 minutes again had passed, and then they came to me and said, oh I'm sorry sir, the tracking equipment that we've got for our cars doesn't seem to fit your wheels. Your wheels are too big. What? You work Ford, who produced my car, haven't got the right things to the wheels for tracking. I'm sorry, but to me that's not on. What if I needed this doing and you were the closest garage I had? I relied on you to do it because you are the official dealer and you can't do my tracking. I personally, like, sorry if I'm coming across wrong, but to me that's just stupid. So anyway, I took it to a local garage, got it tracked for £30 odd, and such wood, it's been fine ever since. So that was that. I'm not going to take it to that Ford dealership anymore. So in regards to practicality, it shouldn't be practical. It's a two-door car with no space for passengers in the back really, but it has ISOFIX points for a baby seat, and to be fair, I've had my little lad's baby seat in here, and obviously because he's got short little legs, he's absolutely fine. It's a bit of either to get it into the back, don't get me wrong, but he's more than happy in there, and he absolutely loves riding in this car. He loves it. But yeah, so with regards to practicality, you can get a baby seat in here and they'll be absolutely fine. Boot space, the boot is pretty big, like it's bigger than you think it'd be. I've done a trip to IKEA and fair enough, I can't get as much in as I could in my Skoda, but I got a fair amount of stuff in. I got a cupboard, flat pack cupboard that was pretty long. I managed to get that in with the back seats down. The only problem is with the back seats down, there is quite a ridge to put stuff over, so it ends up going on a bit of an angle. But you don't buy this car for practicality, do you? Let's be honest. You buy it because it's another car usually. But for everyday life, it's absolutely fine. Like you could easily, as long as you could afford the petrol, you could use this as a daily easily, without any question of a doubt. As long as you can afford the petrol and that's not an issue, then go for it. But in regards to petrol, like for example, when I took it to that local dealer, local garage to get the tracking done, they said, oh, what do you get to that? A gallon? Do you get about 4 miles to the gallon? I was like, well, no, because I don't drive it like a dickhead everywhere. So like at the minute doing 20.1 miles to the gallon on average, and for a 5 litre naturally aspirated car, that's impressive. Like, but the people who have these cars that say, oh yeah, I get 11 miles to the gallon, like, you must be driving it like an idiot all the time, because if you just drive it normally, you can get fairly decent miles per gallon for what it is. So economical for what it is. Like, if I want to get it down, I could easily get it down to about 9 miles to the gallon if I wanted to, but you could do that with any car. So 20.2. I feel like it probably takes about, if you put in the bog standard stuff, it probably costs you about £65 to fill up. But obviously if you put in the more expensive stuff, you're probably looking at about £75 to fill up. But it's not the worst. Don't get me wrong, it's not the best, but it's not the worst. It'll probably do you about 250 miles on a tank. I've not really been on a long run with it, so if you go on a long run, say, because me and my friends, for example, were thinking about doing the North Coast 500, and I was thinking about taking this, I reckon you could probably get 300 miles out of a full tank if you drove it sensibly, if you weren't like doing what you normally would do with your friends on a motorway, do you know what I mean? So yeah, I can't complain for what it is. I can't not complain. It's exceeded expectations for what it is, so no complaints from me. I think that's about it. So yeah, this has been my year review with my car. A year. All I can say is I love it, and I'll be sad to see it go when it does go, but who knows what's going to happen. Maybe I'll get something just as stupid, who knows. So anyway, thanks guys, hope you enjoyed it. I know it's been a long one in comparison to my normal ones. I know it's been a long one compared to my normal ones, but I thought I'd try and do this one in a little bit more detail, and hopefully the edit's gone alright. So yeah, thanks guys for watching, really appreciate it if you made it this far. Give us a like, traffic lights, give us a like and subscribe if you would. I would appreciate it more than you know. But yeah, thanks guys, thank you for watching. Cheers, bye bye.